Hey everybody, Z Garcia here. Today I'm taking a look at an expansion to Paris, the City of Light, a two-player tile game. This is Paris, Eiffel. Paris Eiffel here is the simplest kind of expansion, the kind that says, oh, you liked what was in the original game, here's more of it. That's basically what you are getting. Oh, and we'll throw in a score pad too while we're at it, okay? So in the original game, there were 12 postcards, which are special abilities. You only use a few of them in each game, so there's plenty of replayability in there already. In this box, you are getting 8 more of those, and you can just shuffle them in, you can just use the new ones, doesn't really matter which other ones you're playing with, but now you have 8 more. It almost doubles the number of those postcards, which can be very powerful effects. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what comes in here, explain a few of these postcards to you, and I'll see you on the other side. So here is everything you are getting in the expansion. You have 8 new of these postcards to add into the original 12 that came in the base game, and you have a score pad. Very nice little score pad to help you out. And then, of course, the corresponding pieces for these 8 postcards. So that's basically it. You're just going to mix these in, and then you put out the necessary ones when you are playing, and they will give you new abilities, new powers. You have, of course, the rule book here that is going to explain all of those things to you. So I'll explain a couple of them. Let's see. We are going to do, let's say, the Eiffel Tower here. You're going to put this out on the intersection of 4 tiles. So, for instance, let me grab some tiles here and show you. Let's say do that, like so. And this is going to go out like this, on 4 just like that. You have to make sure that there's a street lamp under it, so there's a street lamp there, so I could do that, for example. And then that street lamp is going to count as double street lamp, so it'll score buildings around it for more victory points. And additionally, at the end of the game, every player gets 2 points for the empty space of their color that is underneath the tower. So this might not be a great place, but if I'm orange, this might be a good place here. I'm doubling this slide and getting 4 points while giving my opponent only 2 for that one. So that's that one there. Let's see, what else have we got here? This hotel, which is a single space building. You can put that out. You put a chimney of your color on it, and at the end of the game, you're going to get 1 additional point for every space between that building and the closest edge of the board. This one over here has no corresponding bit. You just, at the end of the game, are going to get 1, 2, 4, or 8 victory points if you are next to the edge with one of your buildings of 1, 2, 3, or 4 sides of the board. So you'll get that one. You have over here the arch. This is going to go on 2 spaces of your color, and it'll ignore whatever's between them. So again, in this example, if I am orange, I could go from this one to this one, bridging the blue in between them. This is not going to count as a building itself, but it will count to connect a group of buildings I've got over here with a group of buildings I've got on the other side. So that one will let you do that and bridge things together. We've got here the stone gargoyle. You immediately place it on a building that belongs to your opponent, and at the end of the game, they'll score that building normally, but you both get to count it as for your biggest group of buildings. So that building will count for me just when I'm looking at my biggest connected group of buildings. The catacombs here is just this little piece. Another one that goes on your opponent's color, in this case on a cobblestone of their color, my opponent being blue in this case. If that space is not occupied by a building by the time the game ends, you simply remove this before scoring. But if it is occupied by one of their buildings, they're going to score normally. I get half as many points as they got for that building because they're built on top of the catacombs. And there's a few different ones, like I said. This one, when you put it out, players are going to get points for the row and column that this is looking down, so that the cross section of that and every building found in that cross section. Various things like that. Empty spaces around the exhibit here with the Mona Lisa. So there you go. That's how that's going to work out. Again, you mix it all in. It doesn't really change any of the core rules of the game. It just gives you new abilities that you may draft and put into effect. So that is Paris Eiffel. Instead of doing my usual target system breakdown that I do on the screen here, where I tell you about the theme and the ease of play and all those things, they largely remain the same. I'm going to focus on just two things, okay? The big one, the positive one, being replay value, replayability. This is going to give you, 66% more content in the game. Just 8 postcards and their attached rules. But that really, again, nearly doubles the amount of special abilities you had in the original game. That's wonderful. Really good. If you play the game a lot, this will be invaluable to you. The opposite of that, the bad part, is that the components that come in here, physical components, meager though they are, do not fit in the original box. The original box is the same size as this expansion here. But because it has an attached board on the inside, a board in which you put pavement tiles and then buildings on top of that, very beautiful, it comes glued inside this box. And as you can tell, it only goes down less than halfway down to the bottom on this board. Again, it looks great, as long as I don't have to put anything else in this box. With these new components, new monuments you've built up, you can no longer store all these things in this box unless you, A, cut this board out, put that on the table when you play, and then store it flat at the bottom of this. I've seen some folks who have done that online. Don't really like the way that looks. You can definitely see some tearing around the outside. Or B, keep this box, right? You can also, I suppose, C, disassemble all these things and assemble them again every time you play, which I do not recommend. So I guess the path of least resistance there is to keep an extra box, the same size as the original one, just for a few extra things, which is unfortunate. I wish that maybe this box came with its own board in here that then you could put on the table, and you could just keep this box, move all the things from the original one into this one. Maybe this be a deeper box that could hold these things and the original things. I don't know. A new solution for the fact that this game and its very few components no longer fit with this small expansion into the original game. So that's, again, just kind of unfortunate. Is it worth it having to now have 2 small boxes? It doesn't take up that much room. It's just annoying having a small box split across 2 things, especially when this is the kind of expansion you mix in and forget about, right? That's annoying. Whether that's worth it, that's up to you, really, ultimately, okay? I think the new abilities are more of the same. They're good. They're enjoyable. I'm happy to play with any of these if they show up. There are no big twists here. There is no new mode. There is no big shakeup. This is more of the same. And that's good, because I like the original game. The original game I rated an 8 out of 10 in my review. So I definitely would recommend this, but I would recommend it with those 2 caveats. So the first one being, be aware, you're going to have to take this stuff apart, or keep the new box also. And how often do you play this game? Is it one of your favorites? Is it hitting the table all the time? You're going to love this new stuff if it is. If it's not, this is really just more of the same. More bits, more stuff that you won't. If I didn't tell you this was from an expansion, you would not know this stuff is from an expansion. So there is that. Like I said, I rated the original game an 8 out of 10. I think this expansion is good, and I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. So that means Paris Eiffel here is going to get a seal of approval. Good expansion. If you are the kind of person who enjoys expansions of the, I liked what I had, give me more of that, please, then this is for you. Paris Eiffel, 7 out of 10, seal of approval. That's it for me, everybody. My name is Z Garcia. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.